Welcome to Resourcevol Visionaries, the podcast where we explore inspiring stories from the nonprofit sector. This podcast is a free global learning resource for nonprofit professionals, dedicated to sharing innovative solutions and addressing challenges within the nonprofit community. In each episode, we'll dive into real-life examples of how individuals and organizations are making a difference, guided by the Vision for Volunteering's 5 key themes: awareness and appreciation, power, equity and inclusion, collaboration, and experimentation. Whether you're a seasoned nonprofit leader or just starting out, you'll find valuable insights and inspiration to help you in your mission to create positive change and shape the future of volunteering.
Hey everyone, ready to feel inspired?
Yeah.
Today we're diving into volunteering in Newcastle.
Yeah.
We've got these reports from Connected Voice
Right.
and their work on this volunteering voice and engagement program.
Okay.
They basically want to make Newcastle the place to volunteer, right?
Yeah, and they're really going beyond just like getting people in the door. They're talking to all sorts of organizations, from tiny community gardens to big names,
Right.
like Marie Curie, the Newcastle United Foundation.
Wow, so they're really trying to get a handle on the whole landscape.
Exactly. The challenges, the successes, the whole shebang.
I am here for it. First things first, what's the lay of the land? What are organizations telling them?
Well, it's a mixed bag, to be honest. Recruiting, retaining volunteers, it's a real struggle right now.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Pandemic,
Yeah.
it definitely left its mark.
Yeah.
And then you add the rising cost of living on top of that.
Oof. Yeah, that's a whole other layer of complexity.
It is. People are having to make some really tough choices.
Right.
And volunteering, it's not always seen as, a top priority.
I get it. It's hard to prioritize donating time when you're worried about, basic necessities.
Exactly. And then there's this whole other thing.
Okay.
Hidden costs,
What do you mean?
like travel expenses, even the cost of a background check.
Oh, right.
That can be a real barrier for some people.
Especially if you're already struggling financially.
Exactly. It's a vicious cycle.
Okay, so we've got pandemic hangovers, cost of living crunches, hidden costs. Sounds a bit bleak, honestly.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling Connected Voice found some positives, some bright spots.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, cool.
They found some organizations that are not just surviving, but thriving,
Really?
even with all these challenges.
That's amazing. What are they doing differently?
Well, take Blue Sky Trust, for example.
Okay, yeah.
They work with people living with HIV, and one of their secrets is this incredible annual retreat.
A retreat? Okay, I'm intrigued. What makes it so special?
It's all about community. They get to connect, share experiences, and just feel like they're a valued part of something
Yeah.
bigger than themselves,
Right.
And that feeling, that sense of belonging, it makes them want to give back.
That makes sense.
A lot of their most active volunteers, former service users.
Wow, that's amazing. They go from receiving help to wanting to help others. I love that.
It's pretty great. And it's not just them, the Oswin Project.
Yeah.
They work with people affected by the criminal justice system.
Okay.
Same thing happening there. Their cafe, Cafe 16, it's volunteer run and mostly staffed by former clients.
That's brilliant. What a great way to provide support, build confidence, and gain experience.
Exactly. It's win-win.
These organizations are showing that even with all these challenges, positive change is totally possible.
Absolutely.
It's about more than just filling those volunteer slots.
Right.
It's about empowering people,
Yes.
creating that sense of community.
100%.
It's amazing how those organizations are helping service users become leaders.
It's really something, isn't it? Yeah.
And speaking of empowerment,
Okay.
the reports also talk about how volunteering can be like a stepping stone for your career.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Right.
Like Amy,
Exactly.
the volunteer coordinator at Children Northeast, right?
That's the one.
Didn't she start out as a volunteer there?
Yeah. Supporting parent and toddler groups.
Oh, cool.
So when a paid position came up,
Yeah.
that hands-on experience, it really helped her out.
Of course, she already knew the organization, how things worked.
Exactly.
But also, like, the needs of the volunteers.
Yeah.
Because she'd been there.
Right, right. Talk about a perfect fit.
Seriously. It just shows. Sometimes, the best way to land your dream job is by volunteering first.
It's true.
Gain new skills, meet people.
Show you're really passionate.
Absolutely, like a testing ground.
Right.
Yeah, and her story, it's not unique.
Yeah.
The reports are full of them. Volunteering, it's becoming a much more common path to paid work, especially in this sector.
That's so interesting. So it's not just about giving back.
Right.
But it's a way to get your foot in the door, career-wise.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Especially if you're passionate about, social causes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And speaking of passion projects,
Okay.
Connected Voices report, it also highlights how impactful even small initiatives can be.
Tell me more. Tell me more.
Okay, so there's Wild Roots,
Okay.
this cute little community garden. So Nick, the founder, had this great vision, sustainable, green space, the whole thing. But getting it going was tough, especially finding volunteers.
Yeah, I bet. Starting anything from scratch is hard.
It is.
Let alone something that depends so much on other people's free time.
Exactly.
Wow, he must have been up against it.
He was, and that's where, teamwork comes in.
Okay.
Nick, he reached out to the Oswin Trust.
Okay, yeah.
They're a local development organization, and they were happy to help.
So a bigger organization sharing its resources with a smaller one. That's how it should.
Exactly. They organized a volunteer day at Wild Roots, got a team of architects from a local firm to come down.
Hold on, architects. Building gardening paths?
Yep.
That's amazing. I'm feeling very inadequate about my own DIY skills right now. But seriously, that's just brilliant. It shows how organizations can work together to create something amazing,
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's not just about, sharing resources. It's about breaking down that feeling of being alone that a lot of organizations feel, especially the smaller ones.
Exactly. And you're right, collaboration, it's more than just a buzzword.
Right.
Nick got access to a bunch of stuff he wouldn't have otherwise. Volunteers, skills, resources.
It made all the difference.
It did. And it makes you wonder, what other amazing things could happen when organizations work together and support each other.
For sure.
Sadly, though, not every organization feels that support, that connection.
Right.
The reports, they highlight quite a big sense of isolation in the sector.
Oh, really?
Yeah, many organizations, they feel like they're on their own.
It's sad, really. These organizations trying to do so much good, and they often feel alone. Kind of ironic, right?
Yeah, you're not wrong. It's something people are talking about, though.
Okay, good. What can be done?
Well, the report mentions this growing movement in Newcastle to set up a dedicated volunteer network.
Oh, interesting. Like a support system,
Yep.
specifically for volunteer coordinators.
Exactly. A place to connect, bounce ideas around, problem solve.
Yeah.
And most importantly, just realize, hey, you're not in this alone.
It's like we were saying, that collaboration thing. Not just for the volunteers, but for the organizations too, right? Sharing what works, learning from each other.
It's how we make the whole system stronger, more effective.
Love it.
Collaboration.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
It all comes back to that, doesn't it?
It does. Breaking down those walls between organizations, working together, like that Wild Roots example.
So cool how it all connects, right?
It's amazing. And it brings us back to you, dear listener.
Yes.
We've seen the challenges, the successes, all the potential here in Newcastle.
There's so much good happening.
So we'll leave you with this. What kind of impact do you want to make? In your community, right here, right now.
What skills are you fired up to share? What kind of difference do you want to be a part of?
Because this is just the start. It's time to dive in.
That's it for this deep dive. Big thanks to you for joining us. Until next time.
If you have a story you'd like to share or know of any resourceful visionaries doing great things in the non-profit sector, we'd love to hear from you. Please get in touch by emailing hello@resourcevol.com. You could be featured on an upcoming episode, helping to inspire your non-profit professional peers around the world and shape the future of volunteering. In the meantime, remember to subscribe to this podcast and follow Resourcevol on social media for more inspiring content and valuable insights.